We all know how annoying and frustrating it is to walk into your kitchen to grab a snack, only to spot a long trail of tiny ants marching across your counter. Maybe they've gotten into your sugar jar. Maybe they're swarming around a crumb you didn't even notice. You wipe them away, you spray them, but the next day, they're back, sometimes in even bigger numbers. But here's the good news. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how to find where those ants are coming from, how to erase their scent trails so they don't keep coming back, why bait works better than spray, which natural remedies actually get the job done, and how to seal up your kitchen so ants stay out for good. The very first step in winning the battle against ants is figuring out how they're getting into your kitchen in the first place. Ants don't just appear out of thin air, they're coming in from somewhere outside. And here's the thing, if you don't deal with the entry point, you're basically just wiping up the symptom, not the cause. So, how do you track them down? Start by watching the trail. Ants are creatures of habit. They follow very specific scent lines left behind by other ants. If you take a minute to observe, you'll notice that they almost always march in a single file line, either to a food source or back to their nest. Follow that line carefully. It may lead you to a crack in the wall, a gap in the window frame, or even a tiny opening near the baseboards. These are the doorways into your home. Sometimes the trail goes behind an appliance or into a hidden corner. Don't be afraid to grab a flashlight and get down on your hands and knees. Look along windowsills, door frames, under the sink, and around pipes. Ants are tiny, and they only need the smallest of gaps to slip through. Now that you've spotted where the ants are coming from, the next big step is cutting off their communication system. You see, ants don't just wander randomly. They leave behind invisible chemical markers called pheromones. These pheromones act like a GPS trail for the rest of the colony, showing exactly where the food source is. That's why, once one ant finds your crumbs, suddenly dozens show up as if they got a group text about it. The good news is, you can erase those trails, and it's easier than you think. Ordinary soap and water is your first line of defense. Mix a few drops of dish soap in warm water, grab a cloth or sponge, and wipe down any surface where you've seen ants. The soap doesn't just clean the crumbs. It actually breaks down the pheromone trails so other ants can't follow them. For an even stronger clean, vinegar is your best friend. A simple solution of half vinegar and half water in a spray bottle works wonders. Spray it directly on countertops, around sinks, along windowsills, and anywhere you've noticed ants traveling. The sharp smell of vinegar overpowers their scent trail and discourages them from coming back. Don't worry, the smell fades for you after a few minutes, but for ants, it's like hitting a wall. Another smart move is to vacuum or sweep regularly, especially around corners, under the fridge, or anywhere crumbs might collect. Even the tiniest crumb can attract an army. Remember, ants don't need much. Just a few sugar crystals or a drop of grease is enough to keep them coming. When you see ants crawling across your counter, your first instinct might be to grab a can of ant spray and blast them. And sure, it feels satisfying in the moment because the ants you see die instantly. But here's the problem. The ants you see are just the tip of the iceberg. They're the workers, the ones out scouting for food. The real issue lies deeper, back at the nest, where hundreds or even thousands more ants are waiting. Killing a handful of workers on the surface doesn't stop the colony. It just slows them down for a day or two before more show up. That's where ant bait comes in, and this is why it's so much more effective. Ant baits are designed to look like food to the ants, usually a mix of sugar or protein with a slow-acting poison. The worker ants grab the bait, carry it back along those scent trails, and share it with the rest of the colony, including the queen. Over time, this wipes out the entire nest from the inside. Instead of just killing the soldiers, you're cutting off the heart of the army. Now using bait requires a little patience. You might actually see more ants around the bait at first because they're drawn to it. That's a good sign. It means they're taking it back home. Don't clean up or move the bait too soon. Let them feed, let them carry it away, and give it a few days to do its job. You can buy ready-made ant baits from the store, which usually come in little stations you can place near entry points, under the sink, or along the counter edges. For some species, especially sugar ants, these work really well. And if you're dealing with grease-loving ants, there are protein-based baits available too. Borax is a mineral that's often used in cleaning products, and it's highly toxic to ants but safe to handle with a little care. When mixed with sugar and water, it becomes irresistible to worker ants. They think they're bringing home a sweet meal, but in reality, they're delivering poison straight to the colony. Here's a simple recipe. Mix half a cup of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of borax, and 1.5 cups of warm water. Soak cotton balls in the mixture and place them in shallow containers or on bits of foil near ant trails. Just remember to keep borax mixtures out of reach of pets and kids, since it can be harmful if ingested. If you're looking for something safe to spray immediately, vinegar is the easiest and cheapest option. As we talked about earlier, vinegar wipes out their scent trails, but it also works as a natural repellent. Ants can't stand the strong smell, so a quick spray along entry points, countertops, and floors can keep them from wanting to come inside in the first place. Another natural powerhouse is essential oils. Peppermint oil, tea tree oil, and lemon oil are especially effective. These oils not only disrupt the ants' pheromone trails, but also create a smell barrier that ants won't cross. To make a DIY spray, mix 10 to 15 drops of essential oil with 2 cups of water in a spray bottle. Shake well and spray around windows, doors, and baseboards. The bonus here is that your kitchen will smell fresh and clean, while the ants lose interest in coming back. Now that you've cleaned up, erased their trails, and dealt with the colony, the final step is making sure ants can't come back. This is where sealing entry points becomes essential. Remember those cracks, gaps, and tiny openings you spotted earlier? That's exactly where you need to focus. Use a good quality caulk to seal cracks around windows, door frames, and baseboards. If you notice gaps under doors, add a door sweep. For larger gaps near pipes under the sink, expanding foam can close them up tightly. And don't forget the screens. A torn or loose window screen is basically an open invitation for ants and other pests. This step doesn't just stop ants. It helps keep out spiders, roaches, and even drafts that mess with your energy bills. Once you've sealed up the entryways, you've essentially cut off the ants' invitation to come back inside. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to subscribe for more quick DIY pest control tricks and fascinating ant facts you won't want to miss. That way, the next time a pest problem shows up, you'll already know exactly what to do.